Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, government's unemployment assistance extended through December. The details from the Prime Minister's address. Several in custody after a double homicide on a Eleuthera that claimed the life of a child. Plus, who gave us our quote of the week?
Our News is brought to you by LLOYD.
Welcome to Our News, the Weekend Edition. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kyle Joachim. Topping news tonight, as the country continues its battle with the COVID-19 pandemic, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert MINNIS announced this evening that unemployment assistance has been extended to the end of December. During a national address, MINNIS explained that the country is still in the midst of an emergency, which continues to create a problem for the public health care system as well as the economy.
As announced earlier this week by the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the government has made available an additional $45 million for these purposes. In particular, government-funded unemployment benefits will continue through December. Additionally, $10 million have been allocated for a second phase of the National Food Program to the end of December.
The Ministry of Health confirmed 77 additional cases yesterday, with 70 in New Providence, 6 on Grand Bahama, and 1 on Eleuthera. 96 people have died from the virus, while 18 deaths remain under investigation. There are 1,903 active cases, with 96 cases in hospital.
The major problem we face is on New Providence, our populated island, where cases remain at an elevated level. The elevated New Providence numbers mirror the current challenge countries face worldwide managing this virus.
Now, as for future restrictions and any further preventative measures, MINNIS said he will make a statement on Wednesday in Parliament after receiving recommendations from health consultant Dr. Merceline Del Regis and the PAHO representative.
Dr. de Gorville will also meet with the Cabinet on Tuesday coming. The leader of the opposition and his team have been invited to attend this special meeting. After these various meetings, I will brief the nation on the recommendations of our health experts, especially on the way forward for both New Providence and Abaco.
Well, as the government prepares for a full reopening of the tourism sector set for the 15th, the Ministry of Tourism is working along with insurance agencies to offer travel COVID-19 insurance for visitors.
This means we can more confidently allow all visitors to move with less restriction through the destination. With this approach, we can offer visitors a bit more of the true Bahamas experience they know and they love.
As of November 1st, the mandatory 14-day quarantine will be discontinued, and visitors and residents will have to take COVID-19 tests before traveling to the Bahamas as soon as they land and 4 days later. Also of note, new regulations by American Airlines, which will soon require passengers to take a rapid antigen test at the airport and only allowed to board the flight if the result is negative.
Other airlines are offering similar programs in different destinations, and I am sure that this will soon be another necessary and routine step to travel in the future as all airlines institute this requirement.
In other news, police have several people in custody tonight after yesterday's double homicide on Eleuthera. Police were called to Rock Sound just after 5 p.m. where they met a man and a juvenile unresponsive with apparent gunshot wounds. Officers were then informed that a white vehicle and 2 other children were missing. Police, however, spotted the vehicle through a dirt road north of the settlement where they found the 2 infants unharmed. The man and juvenile unfortunately succumbed to their injuries. Police now appealing to anyone with information to come forward. Meanwhile, the opposition spokesperson on crime, Glennis Hannah Martin, called on the government to state its plan to fight the scourge of crime, which has seen 3 children murdered in just a matter of weeks. She called for a nonpartisan approach across the political divide where all hands are on deck. Retired Assistant Commissioner of Police Willard Cunningham passed away today. Cunningham served on the Royal Bahamas Police Force for 4 decades, working on several family islands during his career. Opposition leader Philip Davis said in a statement he was saddened by news of Cunningham's death. He said, "I had the pleasure of working with Mr. Cunningham in my capacity as a defense attorney, where we developed a professional camaraderie and friendship that lasted until his untimely passing." The statement continued, "I recall Willard as a commanding figure and formidable prosecutor in the magistrate's court. A resilient spirit, he overcame many personal challenges, and his work ethic and dedication to the administration of justice led to his ascension through the ranks of the Royal Bahamas Police Force to the substantive post of Assistant Commissioner of Police." Well, some public and some private schools on your Providence, Abaco, and Eleuthera are all set to reopen for virtual learning tomorrow. Schools on other islands, including Grand Bahama, will open for face-to-face learning. Education Minister Jeffrey LLOYD, while appearing on the Our TV show On the Record with host Jerome Sawyer, explained what went into determining which schools will reopen for face-to-face learning.
Grand Bahama, if you notice the past, several weeks now, you would see that they have petered out in terms of the number of cases there. However, again, it is not possible because of the size of their school population to ensure that there would be a safe distance between students and so on and so forth. However, I wish to say further that there are a couple of schools in Grand Bahama where they can go face-to-face, and they will be operating in that fashion.
LLOYD says when it comes to the way teaching is done in schools in this situation, one size does not fit all. He says the Director of Education, district superintendents, and principals determine which schools open for face-to-face learning.
Only in those situations where that observances can be, such as the 6 feet, the mask wearing, and so on, will there be face-to-face. And so the majority of our students will be virtual. That's number one. Number two, our teachers then will be in an environment on the campuses where there are few persons except for their own colleagues. They will be in individual classes or a library or a computer room where they will essentially be by themselves. So that is really of no concern.
Now, when it comes to the tools needed for virtual learning, LLOYD says the cost for tablets and other necessities totals some $10 million.
It's going to cost us pretty close to $10 million because in the first instance with regard to tablets, as well as for those students who are on the lunch program, we have to provide internet access. So we have collaborated with the Alive and the BTC in the provision of tablets, both for our educators as well as for our students. So it's going to cost us up to little north of $10 million. We have collaborated with many persons who have come forward and have invited us to join with them into securing support for our students.
Progressive Liberal Party leader Philip Davis expressing concern over the level of crime in the country. Davis says it appears the government's plan to tackle crime isn't working. Here's Berthany McDermott.
Horrific is how PLP leader Philip Davis described the recent murders, which included the death of 2 children. Davis said it's now time to get a control on crime.
That's horrific, and as I've always said, right, it's just not the crime itself, but it's the fear that it evokes in the population when things like that happen. Right, and it is very, we have to get a control of those things and address it more aggressively.
On September 20th, 7-year-old Reyes Williams was shot and killed in Nassau Village. Fast forward to September 28th. 30-year-old Alicia Sawyer and her 8-year-old daughter Ednique Wallace were killed in their bedroom in Nassau Village. The very next night, owner of the Village Pub Lounge, 46-year-old Roberto Lewis, was murdered on the sidewalk. Despite this, National Security Minister Marvin Dames this past week said murders are down nearly 30%. Davis, however, is of a different view, charging that the plans from the MINNIS administration to tackle crime in the Bahamas are falling flat.
The plans that's put up by the present administration obviously is failing, because it seemed to me that their plan is basically to detect crimes rather than to prevent crimes.
The PLP leader also questioned government's investments in drones and shot-spotter technology to aid in the fight against crime. He also asserted that the issue will be addressed by a Davis-led government.
Hence, to purchase an investment in the spot shotter. And it goes on and on. And we're still trying to understand what has become of their investment in the drones that is supposed to aid in the fight. But at the moment, as I said, nothing is happening in crime. It is still a troubling issue, and we will be addressing it in due course.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Still to come, the education minister is still not interested in meeting with the Bahamas Union of Teachers president until she apologizes. And a little later on, who gave us our quote of the week. Stay tuned.
This is a huge deal. NFL Sunday Ticket is back, only with Rev Trio. All-day football, all-day Sunday. Enjoy all the benefits of Trio with a huge extra. Never miss a game with NFL Sunday Ticket, included in your Rev Trio bundle. All you have to do is opt in. TV, phone, and internet starting at just $99. Call 601-8992 to sign up now. Visit www.rev.bs/promotions for details.
Just a week after it was revealed that Education Minister Jeffrey LLOYD will not take part in any meeting with Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson until she apologizes, LLOYD says his position still stands. In that letter, LLOYD claims Wilson used obscenities with him over WhatsApp and then doubled down the following day. When asked if he's still unwilling to meet with Wilson until she apologizes, LLOYD said this.
I sent a letter, which the contents of which were unfortunately leaked to the public, I presume. And the contents of that letter I stand by.
The BUT president has already said she will not be apologizing and that LLOYD should hold his breath. As for how this standoff affects teachers, LLOYD says he is still in communication with them.
Our teachers are members of are in the employ of the Ministry of Education. We communicate with our teachers all the time. There is no interference in the communication of our teachers. They are our employees. So we are in continuous conversation and direct conversation with our teachers and all of our employees, educators, and so on. The Ministry of Education continues to engage the Bahamas Union of Teachers. Nothing has changed there.
Environmentalist Sam Duncombe said it is unfortunate that her group's suggestions to strengthen environmental regulations were not considered.
On Tuesday, we were informed that the regulations had been tabled already without any of our comments. So we had strengthened the regulations so that they were robust, so that they took care of us and they took care of our environment. And the government has watered them down to the point where there's so many loopholes, and that's exactly the thing that we should not be doing right now.
She called on the Prime Minister to listen to environmentalists.
We've heard from our Prime Minister over this course of COVID saying that we have to listen to the science because the science is showing us and telling us what we need to do to get out of here, out of this mess we're in right now. So I'm asking the Prime Minister and the government of the Bahamas to listen to the science, to understand the fact that climate change is a very real thing. We either, take stock and realize this is a real opportunity for change, right? Or we will all suffer as a result of not taking the steps that are necessary right now to make those changes happen.
Well, now that churches are allowed to conduct indoor services with safety protocols, Christian Council President Bishop DELTON FERNANDER says there are a few traditions that churches would like permission to resume.
We are going to, as a church, we're really taking on the responsibility of now reviewing some of the other areas that christening, baptism, and some of the things that we do that have not come on board since the COVID-19. But we are aware, until we get a good handle on where we're at, we still got to take baby steps.
FERNANDER says church leaders understand that they too must do their part in curbing the spread of COVID-19.
We need to make a decision that we need to protect ourselves. We need to wear our masks. We need to sanitize ourselves. We need to stop this behavior that is spreading the numbers. And until we make a decision, this negativity, this gun violence, what is taking place, will go unabated until our society says enough is enough.
Still to come, a Grand Bahama environmentalist calls for more focus on Family Island tourism. Plus, a Bahamian-made soap returns to TV. Stay tuned.
This is a huge deal. NFL Sunday Ticket is back, only with Rev Trio. all day football, all day Sunday. Enjoy all the benefits of Trio with a huge extra. Never miss a game with NFL Sunday Ticket included in your Rev Trio bundle. All you have to do is opt in. TV, phone, and internet starting at just $99. Call 601-8992 to sign up now. Visit www.rev.bs/promotions for details.
You're watching Our News. Welcome back. As government prepares for the reopening of the tourism industry, a local environmentalist is calling for more focus to be placed on family islands. Save the Bay's chairman Joseph Darwell says it not only benefits family island residents, but also the environment.
There will be smaller places built with cottages to accommodate small groups, maybe up to 20 or 25, and it will augur extremely well for the family islands, like you mentioned, Bimini, Long Island, Eleuthera, Harbour Island, and so on. And I think that has to be looked at significantly. Then the other thing is that I think we will not see a return of a multitude of tourists on cruise ships. I think that's a thing of the past. And I think what will now take place would be smaller vessels that carry probably 100 or 125 people, and they will visit all around the Bahamas.
Darwell says ecotourism in particular should get special focus. He said research has shown there is a demand for smaller cottages where tourists can enjoy nature.
And I think we should encourage that because a lot of them, like big yachts, and if we control it well, we can probably have a high-end group of individuals with a lot of money, millions of dollars, who can probably come with 8 or 10, 25 people, and they will not do significant damage to our seabed or even to our terrestrial areas or coastal areas.
Well, after being off the air for 5 years, the Bahamian-made soap opera Gippy's Kingdom is set to return to Our TV next week. The show follows a bus driver by the name of Gippy and all the craziness that goes on in the lives of those around him. Tony McCartney plays Keith Brooks. He says season 3 will take viewers on a wild ride.
I can tell you a brief history of my character, and my character was getting married in the last season. I think he's gonna have some difficulties in this upcoming season. All I can say about this season is definitely gonna be hot. If you've been following it, like many of our fans have been following it, this season is gonna definitely be one of the hottest ones I've seen so far.
The new season premieres right here on Our TV on October 6th at 8:30 p.m. As for McCartney, he's also part of the Bahamian show Where in the World is Wally, set to return to the small screen shortly.
I gotta give my props out to the Volta for taking me on. We had a great time. We shot this in New York in August last year. And it was actually supposed to air in February or March this year, but COVID came and set us back. It was supposed to air again in September. We had another conflict. And now we're finally lining up right after Gippy's Kingdom on the 12th. So you want to definitely tune in. This is episode 5, the continuation of the Where in the Wally series.
When we come back, who captured our quote of the week? Stay tuned.
This is a huge deal. NFL Sunday Ticket is back, only with Rev Trio. All day football, all day Sunday. Enjoy all the benefits of Trio with a huge extra. Never miss a game with NFL Sunday Ticket included in your Rev Trio bundle. All you have to do is opt in. TV, phone, and internet starting at just $99. Call 601-8992 to sign up now. Visit www.rev.bs/promotions for details.
And finally tonight, we've come to that part of Our News where we take a look back at the more memorable quotes of the week. In at number 3 is House Speaker HALSON MOULTRIE, who made the call for the death penalty to be carried out following the murders of 2 children and a woman in his constituency.
I believe that if the laws are on the books, they should be enforced. Now, I believe that everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty, and they should be given the opportunity to exhaust all of their legal options and all of their appeals. But when they have exhausted all of those appeals, if the verdict remains guilty of murder, they should be put to death.
Number 2 comes from BAIN and Grantstown MP Travis Robinson, who expressed his disappointment with not being able to contribute to debate on a bill in Parliament on Wednesday.
was given to myself as the Member of Parliament to indicate that the House was going to move to the third reading and passing even before I had my opportunity to deliver my presentation on behalf of the people of BAIN and Grantstown who elected me to serve for them. It is very unfortunate. I am highly disappointed, and I see it as an attack on democracy, and the actions can be likened to the stifling of the voice of the Bahamian people.
But our quote of the week comes from this father who lost his daughter after she was shot and killed along with her mother in their Nassau Village home last Monday.
That's a hard blow because I would never think that somebody would actually intentionally do this to a child, an 8-year-old. Like, she don't have no say, she ain't even see half or not a quarter of her life yet. And for you to do this to a child, it was very heartbroken to me.
Well, thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Kyle Joaquin. Remember, you can catch Our News on the go, the Repco Play app. Have a good Sunday evening, Bahamas.